Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. We are so excited to have you here today, and we're going to dive into our community, the Gut Girls community that has really kind of been building for the last few years. And so we want to kind of tell you a little bit more about that and what we have to offer and why we would want you to be a part of the community, and also why it's important to have the community, especially if you've Dr. Googled everything, you're starting to use AI tools, why we think this community is important. So I am Diana.
And I'm Angela, and together we
And
are
so I'm
the
going
Gut
to take you
Girls.
back to 2017 when I was originally going through my struggles with lots of symptoms. I reached out to Angela. We began working together. And of course, she was a fantastic resource. But one thing that I realize now that I was missing during that time was the importance of a community. I was, Angela and I were talking actually just before this, and I was like, I had diagnosed myself with lupus. I had all the symptoms. I had the butterfly rash. I had, hair loss. I had all these symptoms because I was Dr. Googling everything. And now, we're hearing people start to really look this up on AI. They're like, okay, here's my symptoms, or maybe here's my test results. What do you think, AI? What do you think, ChatGPT? What does that look like? And so and sure, some of that can be some good information, but some of it can really lead you down a path that could be scary or overwhelming. And so one of the things that we like to do is use the GI map test, use these tools and these resources that we've provided in our Gut Girls community to really pull this whole community together and just do life together. Right, Angela?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that we really want our clients and Gut Girl followers and members to take away from their experience with us is learning how their body communicates to them. Like, it is a language, and you just haven't learned it yet. And when you're in the community, you are getting ideas of like, okay, so that symptom that person was experiencing that they were talking about in the community forum, that actually meant something. Like, I just thought that was normal. I just thought that's what everyone
Yeah,
experienced, right?
we have people even in this community that we've created that they have said, because I did this, I am in remission. My RA is in remission because I've used these tools. And so how amazing is it for our other newer followers, newer listeners to go and hear that story from, one of our past participants in our Optimize Your Gut program, and somebody that's been around with us for a while now to say something like that. I mean, you can't hardly get much more optimism and encouragement than hearing something like that. If that's something that you're experiencing, you wake up with those joint pains and you're achy all the time, and maybe somebody's led you here, but you're just starting your process. Maybe you've just done a GI map test, you've just started working with us, and you're still experiencing those symptoms. I try to remind people, hey, be patient, go to that community and listen to other people's stories. It doesn't happen, the healing part doesn't happen overnight. Because if somebody says, hey, I'm a little bit discouraged, things aren't happening just right away within the first few weeks. And I'm like, okay, but take me back. How many years have you been dealing with this? And a lot of times people are like, well, decades, and I'm like, so you expect results overnight. And so that's where the community aspect comes in, where it really brings in so many real results and people that have gone before you and done this before and done it well. And again, I go back to my experience. How beneficial would that have been for me, Angela, during that time? Because I was kind of alone. I didn't have anybody in my community, nobody in my family that was making these kind of major changes and lifestyle changes that I was doing with my diet and with, supplementation and not going to the doctor all the time. I was kind of alone doing that. And so that's one of the things that you and I are so passionate about, is building this community. And we have these tools now. We have an app that people can go to and they can see what you and I are personally doing, but even better than that, what other people in the community are doing.
Well, and I think that's key because two things you said I want to reiterate is one, we're not meant to do life alone. We're not meant to heal alone, right? So again, the community is key, but it's the community of like-minded people, right? So it's people, think about how many times you've shown up to a family event and you are the odd man out because you're trying to eat gluten-free, or hey, I can't have dairy, and oh my gosh, you're like, something, your family's like, something's wrong with you, and it makes you feel, it does, it makes you question, like, what am I doing? Is all this hard work really paying off? And it can derail you, where when you have a community of like-minded people, you get to step into this community and they're like, no, 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 wait, I've been there. You were talking about one of our members, about how she said about her RA going into remission. I remember she could only eat 10 foods. 10 foods when she came to us. And so if you're in this community, you get to hear these stories and you're like, oh, okay, I too feel like all I can eat is 10 foods. And so wait, I'm not broken? You're saying I'm not broken? You're saying there's hope. You're saying that it's worth sticking out, this path that could take me, some people we see 3 months, 6 months, a year, you know what I mean? Like, so it's worth it. So that when you're in that like-minded space, you actually push out all the negativity and all the shame and the guilt, and you get to really focus on, okay, no, this is the right path for healing. I'm hearing it from other people that are experiencing it. I feel motivated. I feel valued. I feel seen in this community. That, guys, brings healing. I have, in fact, Diana, I can think of a specific client of ours, and she's actually probably listening. And I honestly, not much has really changed when I think about like what she's enforced as far as supplementation, right? But she's seen hope, like just from listening to the podcast, being a part of our community, right? Like she's seen hope, and it's because of that alone. It's not that she's taken all 50 steps in the protocol. It was literally just the community that shifted her entire healing into the right place.
Yeah, and that's really cool. And I mean, you have that emotional connection to it, but it's also very tangible. Inside the membership, we also talk a lot about, let's say, I got a Thrive Market order the other day, and I just kind of shared with everybody, was it all perfect foods? Absolutely not. But it's what we needed as our family to kind of get through snacks. And if I'm ever on the go, it is right now. My kids are busy, so busy. And my daughter is in this space right now where she is having to be at band practice for long, long, long periods of time. And so they feed them hot dogs, pizza, sandwiches from these different restaurants and things. And so I'm having to prepare her food and take it to her all the time. And that's really hard because I also have to take it like in a paper sack because it can't be in a thermos or whatever. So I'm trying to, make her some healthy quesadillas and, some different things. And so when I'm in this hustle and bustle of life, one of the things I try to kind of share is how we do it and make it work, and that we can make it work. We can make it happen. So when you're feeling like, oh my gosh, like what am I going to eat? What am I going to do? I'm on the go all the time. This is impossible. I have to go through the drive-through. We're trying to help you get through those hard times. And in the community, that's what we do. I shared my Thrive Market order and what I was making JC Kate for that meal, and what crackers we swapped out with, what snacks we use, and my kids are both teenagers. Angela has smaller children, and so we try to do both. And so we hit a lot of people that do have families, that do have kids. But I mean, also just for us, if you're single, you're living alone, and you need something simple and easy to cook, and how do you do all that? So that's one of our biggest goals in the community, is to make this feel easier and not like a burden, right? I mean, we don't want it to feel like, oh my gosh, this is exhausted. I don't love to cook. I'm in the kitchen all the time. I don't have time to be in the kitchen. I can tell you that. Angela and I have talked about this, where she loves to be in the kitchen. I don't. And so I'm like, how can I make this quick and easy and fast, but still stay on track? And that is what I love about this community, because I listen to some stories from our listeners, from our community, from our members, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that too. So we are constantly feeding off of each other for that.
Yeah, we have clients that send us recipes and they're like, "Hey, I made this tonight." And it's like, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm actually going to use that." I actually had a someone just the other day say, and I'm going to share this just to give you an idea, and I think it's phenomenal. When we speak of like flours, okay, like cooking, baking with flours, and people are trying to go gluten free or they're trying to eat more nutrient dense. I had a client who makes her own granola. So, all healthy, with nuts and seeds, pretty rich in fiber, not high in sugar. And then what she does is she grinds her granola to make a flour. I was like, but like my mind just blew up. I was like, that could be the most healthiest flour right there with your fiber. So like we have clients bringing us, these kind of little tips and tricks, and I'm like, genius, noted, and we're gonna bring that into the community, and we're gonna help other people get this diversity too. And then something you mentioned was the Thrive Market order. So if you guys don't know, like Thrive Market is an online market. I always explain it like the Amazon, but just of like all food, like healthy food and living, right? Where you can literally log in if you get a Thrive Market account and like click like, hey, I want gluten free, and it brings all the things up that are gluten free. So it makes it really easy when you're trying to kind of shop for your family's, maybe allergens or needs. But a lot of our clients, Diana, don't live in a place that like in a town. Like I'm pretty blessed where I live in Virginia here, where we've got Trader Joe's, we've got Whole Foods right down the road, so like I can get a lot of these things pretty quickly. But in the community, if you're living somewhere where there's not a lot of brands, hello, Diana lives in Tullahoma, Tennessee. I mean, there's not much there, right? And so it's really awesome. Diana has really stepped up and brought like, okay guys, for our members out there that don't have access, this is what you have to do to get these brands. This is what you have to do to stay healthy. It has been a lifesaver for clients all over, the US that come to us that are like, I live in Timbuktu. How do I do this? The community has been so helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some reels and stuff that we've done on Instagram, some fun things where thankfully Publix and Kroger, and really if you have an Aldi, they really do a good job of leaving out food dyes and having some cheap, more affordable options at Aldi. And so there are other options, but for convenience or whatever, a lot of people, it's like you said, the Amazons where you want that convenience. Just to have Thrive Market just show up on your doorstep. So that is nice. But one of the other things that I like about the community is when like, let's say we are going through a specific protocol, or, we're coaching somebody through maybe trying some different supplements or things, and they have a question about how they feel on it. Hey, I started taking this and this is how I felt. Or, hey, I found myself in the bathroom more often, or whatever. I mean, honestly, people in the community are starting to kind of help one another instead of having to come to us for all of those different supplements, because they've journaled, they've lived through it, they've done it. So we even do that, not just with food, not with the emotional side, but even like with real raw supplementation. And how do I kind of get through this, or what supplement might help this, or, whatever, if they need that specific thing. So I do love that part as part of the community as well. So I'll be totally transparent. We are constantly trying to evolve and adapt and be at the forefront of everything for our community and for our members. And so, we're still working to create these great spaces for you to go to have access to all of these different resources and things we've created. Because Angela and I together over the last months, really over years, we have created different nutrition guides and batch cooking guides, and I mean, you name it, we've created it because our customers have needed, our clients have needed it. And so we have these resources, and we're really trying to put those into a good place for you guys to kind of be able to go and do all of that. So we're trying to create this community, and again, trying to constantly evolve and adapt with what's new, what's out, maybe, and pull it all together for you. So we would love for you to join us in that. The best way right now to get started in that is just to have a conversation with us on a free 15-minute discovery call. You can go to our website, gutgirls.health, and just find a time that you can talk to one of us, and we can kind of set you, in the place that that maybe is best for you after we have that conversation. Right, Angela?
Yeah. And for those of you that are listening to this podcast, that are members of ours, if you aren't currently in the community, maybe you've missed that. We currently have a platform. We have a group me that is growing and it's sharing, and we want you to have access to it. So I would say feel free to even shoot us an email if you're like, hey, I am a member and actually feel like I'm missing this part of working with you, and we'll get you hooked up into that platform, into that space. So we want you guys to have access to it. And I think here's what I would encourage you. The next time that you're like, hey, I'm going to Dr. Google how to fix this or what's wrong with me, whatever you're Dr. Googling these days, don't. Save yourself the headache, the spiraling that comes with that. Diana could speak to that, the spiraling that comes to that. And jump in, give us a free 15 so we can get you, into our membership, into our community space, so that you can actually, like I said, get real just community that has been experiencing this and sees it more than just I feel like what AI or Google would see it as is like data. You know what I mean? Like, you're just another data, you're just another number, and here's, if you didn't listen to our last podcast, we just talked about like, go eat more fiber. Dr. Google is going to be like, you need more diversity, more fiber. Okay, you go and do that and you do it wrong, you're actually going to feel worse, right? And our members will be the first to say like, oh, Diana and Angela, they have a way of bringing diversity in that actually does not, inflict more bloating and pain. That is something that I would say we pride ourselves on, is growing your diverse microbiome safely, calmly, and in a way that helps you actually feel good and back to life. And so that's the kind of stuff we want you to get hooked on in this community.
So we would love for you to join us, and again, go do that free 15 with us. We'd love to chat with you. If you do feel lost, you've done the AI, the chat GPTs, maybe you've gone online and done, we've just recently talked to a lot of people that have gone and spent $500,000. I had somebody the other day that she did like $2,000 worth of blood work online, and then tried to put it into AI, into her chat GPT, and kind of understand. And it's not really telling the whole story, right? It's just spitting out some, like you said, some, try this fiber or that fiber, when we know after working with thousands and thousands of different clients, looking at all these different GI map tests, that you probably can't handle that fiber that Dr. Google is telling you that you need to eat right now. So if you're like, man, that made my stomach hurt even worse, then our community is for you. So we would love, if you do kind of feel like you're lost, we want to tell you, you're not broken. It is actually very common what you're experiencing. Most likely, you're more than just Dr. Googling something or putting something in Chat GPT. And we want to be a part of that, of your story. We want to be a part of your journey. We love to do that. It is, honestly, that's why I got into this, because I was like, I have to share my story with others and make sure they know there's another way. And so if that's you, I want to tell you, you can join us. Please do so. We would love to have you in our community. And as I said before, being totally transparent, our community is constantly growing and evolving. We have some really, really big dreams, don't we, Angela?
We do. We have something coming out real soon, just even through our website, to help our members be able to navigate our stuff a lot better, a lot clearer. We're excited about it. And that's just like right around the corner. But then, like you said, a big dream of ours is really, Diana, we want to gather all of these individuals into like a retreat where we can really pour love on them and nurture them and let them know that their story matters, their journey matters, there's a purpose behind it, and for us to all kind of come together and just really applaud that healing that we've all worked so hard to get through.
So cool. So anyway, as we wrap this up, feel free to reach out to us. We hope you guys are doing wonderful, and come find us on our website, gutgirls.health, and we will catch you on the next episode. The Gut Girls podcast is for educational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. We are not acting as licensed medical professionals. Always consult your doctor before making any changes to your health routine.